is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, a Friday episode of Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Joik Bell, the Little Caesars Arena in-house camera legend from the Red Wings game last night here with me. Oh, former Detroit Lion as well, but I think you're more known for your work on the big screen at LCA last night.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a good pizza. And you know, they caught me mid-bite.
Mid-bite, man.
Mid-bite.
They always do.
What are you biting on?
I had a, you know what, though? It was Mike's Pizza. It was Mike's
Nice.
Pizza.
I was just wondering what you bite on at LCA, being, you know, the health conscious.
Oh, no, I had a slice of pizza. I had some cheese pizza.
Attaboy, so you let her go. It's good. You can let her go at LCA.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Oh, it was delicious.
Well, Joy,
the food there is awesome,
but
bro.
they do have healthy options, though. They have the salad bar there.
Yep.
That's like, I've been to a lot of different, arenas and stadiums. This is by far, they have all the options. They have it's not Chipotle or Qdoba, but they have something similar to that in there. Like, it's dope. I like it a lot.
I love it, man. I love it. And then that's the big thing, one of the big
Best
differences.
arena in the game.
Yeah,
it's the best arena.
Catch your mid-bite all the time.
They always do. That guy, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. And, Joik, I have to ask you, we were both there last night. What an atmosphere it was. And we'll talk about the game in a couple of seconds. But who holds down the Red Wings crowd like this guy? This guy is everywhere. A walking legend around that place.
You know what, man? I'm walking around and I see. First, I saw him on the big screen. He was giving the jersey away to the war hero,
military guy.
Yeah, right. And then I walk out. See him sitting down doing another interview outside of the arena. And then I walk around, I see him again at the end of the game. He's everywhere. This guy's a legend. So I have a video on Instagram of me kind of behind him while he's doing this interview. I was trying to mess with him a little bit. He didn't crack. He kept it professional the whole interview. I was proud of him.
He was in his element. There's no doubt.
He was in his element. He was in his zone.
I ain't lying when I say I'm a battery and the people are my power. And that's just, that's the Mandalorian home base right there, LCA. The people come to you. And I said to you, Neil, I said, being out there, but you got to, from my perspective, is people are standing out there and they want to get autographs or they want to take a picture or whatever, and the game's going on. They paid money to be here and they want to be with me, so that's the least I could do.
Yeah, absolutely. But you do, man. It was impressive to watch you work and to watch you work the room and everything like that. And you and I were talking about that before the show. Is we sometimes we break bread together before we go on air, have our breakfast for you. It's lunch for me. That's just the way.
That's the way it is.
That's just the way it is. But it was impressive to watch you and just. The way you walk, the way you work the room, and you want every single person to walk away happy. Like you care, like you do. You care about people, man. You care that people like you. You care that you created moments for people. Like you care. It was impressive. I'm not trying to suck up to you or anything like that.
I just when I talk about
it was impressive.
That's the culture. The culture is, and the one thing, and I'm on is I know where I was for all these events, but and it's from the small kids to the medium kids that weren't around for the cup wins, but they understand through their families. So I was, saying to you earlier is I have the fortune and, it's with great responsibility is to be able to touch different generations, right? So everybody's got a story. So why not? I embrace it. So, unfortunately, the game didn't end the way we wanted, but what an atmosphere. I mean, that just shows you what I'm talking about, what I'm saying about the DCFC, about the Northern Guard. You have it down there. Joik was down there. The atmosphere was unbelievable. That's the playoff-type atmosphere, but it just goes to show you it can be done at LCA if they put the product on the ice for us.
Yeah, absolutely. As the Red Wings fall 7-6 to Tampa Bay, they led 6-3 with, about 6 or 7 minutes to go in the game. But couldn't hold on. But it was a very entertaining hockey game, man.
I was live, so I'm right there in the entire game. And you know what? I like hockey, but I love it when they get when they get it get
mixing
a little spicy.
It
get a little spicy. You got hands being thrown. When you start throwing hands, you got my attention.
Yeah,
you got my attention. I just so happened I was recording when Larkin had got
in the mix.
It got in the mix a little bit, and he got cheap shot, and he reacted, which, you know, he very well he should react, you know, sometimes. But hockey's different, so you can react a little bit more there. It's more room for error there. You know, if you do that in the NFL.
Do you wish football was like that, Joey?
You know what? It's different, though. It's different because you get them going in football, the refs can't break that up. Like, they can't get in there and they can't. Right. So it's different. It's different. But in hockey, I love, that's the culture there, and I love that culture. And so it was a handful of those altercations that I really enjoyed. And I can't wait to get to the next game. But that was definitely playoff. That was a playoff atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Bertuzzi with the 4 goals. And for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, we'll run some of the highlights for you as you can take a look at the action. But yeah, it was, man. It was spicy out there. And Bertuzzi, this move here, and you guys, even if you're listening right now, you guys know the move I'm talking about. I mean, that was next level by Bertuzzi.
This is like, basketball through the leg between the two, off the right post.
See, DMac, that's what I'm talking. Like, you can't fake that.
No.
That talent, you can't fake it. You're not waiting for that to develop. He has that.
Absolutely, he does. And I think you see the impact. I mentioned him only playing limited action last year.
Look at that. Is that not
injury, and it might take him a slow start. No. Yesterday when I said to you, so if Zadina gets 4 tomorrow, you're going to get the jersey, and you were like, Well, I knew somebody was going to get 4. I just had the wrong guy. But
there you go.
It goes to show you the value that he has to that team. And, getting back to the Dylan Larkin, I loved it. It's one of these
I know
things
you
that
did.
I loved it just for the fact because when I hear him say we have to, set our own history and it starts now and we got to be it, him having that talk with himself about having the injury last year, and that's leading by example. I mean, it gets everybody else pumped up. So, I said it last night. He got his money's worth.
Yeah.
So, that's what you want first game of the year. And when your captain goes out and is going to take that attitude that it doesn't matter, you know what, we're going down with it. It forces everybody to get up. That, and when you're one of the teams that's the bottom of the barrel and you're playing the Stanley Cup champions, obviously you're going to be up for it. But the thing is that for Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond, their first game to be in the mix, into the heat, it's going to be intense, and it was. I thought they showed up great.
And, Joy, I do want to pick your brain because I thought of something right away when I saw what Dylan Larkin did. And for those that didn't see it, he kind of took the cross-check to the neck, and certainly he missed a huge chunk of time last year, had some neck issues.
Didn't think he was going to play again.
Yeah, and he bounced back up, and he wasn't having it. And it reminded me, and you and I have had this discussion before, that's why I liked Ndamukong Suh so much, to where people thought that was a detriment. I dug it because what I gathered from Dylan Larkin, and even more than the goal, because I stood up here 2 days ago and said this is a show-it season for Dylan Larkin, because it is, because that contract ends next year. He was not going to be punked out there. Like that's what it comes down to. And like guys with Sue and everything like that, that's why I liked him so much. You're not punking you're not punking anybody when he's on the ice. And Dylan Larkin last night, he took it, he bounced back up, and he wasn't having it.
Lay him out.
Yeah, he wasn't having it.
You know what it was though? That's a veteran move. When you punch a guy, he laid him out. And the first thing he did, he didn't even look at the guy on the ground. He turned around to see who
was coming.
The first teammate that was coming. And he laid him out too. Play it back for me.
Well, where's the penalty on Joseph on the play? But you watch right here where he drops his gloves and stuff, and you see
I'm sitting right there. I'm sitting right there. You see me stand up? I stand up right there. You see me right there?
Yeah.
You can't see me right there, but I'm literally right there in row 6, and I'm trying to record it. And as soon as this happened, I get a phone call from my friend, and I had to stop recording because the call ended it. It was just great. It was a great game.
Yeah,
I love what makes a good game good to me, outside of just the strategic moves that you make during the game, is the physicality of the game. That's what riles me up. I love it. Why so serious?
No, but it was, and that was something that I was looking for from Dylan Larkin. Was now obviously I need goals and I need points and I need that first and foremost. But I did see a mentality to where it matters to him. And I'm not even talking about like the shot to the neck or anything like that. It matters to him that he's not going to be punked out there.
No,
bottom line.
The bottom line is that he's made a decision that this is it. And you see that because he was literally, and I've seen that level. I told you earlier, it reminds me of my son Griffin, who's got a long fuse, but when it goes, it's even tough for his dad to pull him back. But that's what Griffin or what Dylan did right there is because you know it's coming, Joint, when you do something like that. So that just means you're ready to go. And you look at the rest of the teammates from Bertuzzi, they knew what was going on and everybody was there. So that pack mentality will lead a long ways and shows you how that the dressing room's strong.
And on our YouTube chat thread, you can get involved on there. And don't forget about the podcast page as well on iTunes, Big D Energy. You missed the show, that will go directly to your phone. You can get in on that action, listen to the show whenever you want. MPWMU says, I heard that if you meet Neil in public, you're told not to look him directly in the eye. No, that'll be on my next contract. That I'll have that clause in there. What do you got, Fish?
I know we're talking hockey, and the Red Wings looked very good other than the last part of the third period. But we got breaking news. Zach Ertz to the Cardinals. Eagles trade Zach Ertz to the Cardinals.
Okay. The Cardinals are loading up, man.
I'm assuming he will not be playing this weekend, but he'll be obviously playing past this weekend.
Yeah, so, okay. Well, we'll get into the NFL. Obviously, it's a football Friday. We had our Detroit Lions hometown hero. You know, we'll have our hometown hero as well that the Detroit Lions will honor at Ford Field for their game against the Bengals. We'll talk at length about the Lions as well. Certainly got a lot to get to, and for the Michigan football fans out there as well, we'll be joined in just a little bit by Keyshawn Harris, defensive back for the Michigan Wolverines. They're getting ready to roll against Michigan State. They have the bye week this week. But these two guys and everybody here at Woodward, I mean, DMac, as we said, was a man of the people out there at LCA. We have the exclusive footage here at Woodward Sports. He's in his element. He's a legend, folks.
All right. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm excited. We got the Wings game tonight against the Lightning. There were several other NHL games if that fancies you, but we're in Detroit. We're going to the Wings match tonight against the Lightning.
Well, right now we're in Birmingham.
Well,
but
okay.
We're getting ready to go to
We're
Detroit.
getting ready to go to the game. Mm-hmm. By the way, Drake Bell, do you listen? No AC, by the way. I can do a show with no AC.
There is no AC. Yeah, you're right.
So,
do you? But we wanted to make a video because it's a BDE takeover at LCA.
It's a BDE takeover / we're missing a few people.
Like who?
Well, we're missing Drake Bell.
Well, he said he might be at the game. We'll see if we can find him.
He's doing a doubleheader of softball with Sticky, who will do a great job tonight. Good luck to the Space.
What about Neil Rule will be down there?
Well, he'll be down there, but is he part of the takeover?
Well, you know what? We're going to meet with the 4-time Stanley Cup champ, DMac.
Jared McCarty.
It's not the who, it's the why.
Oh, well, no, you messed up. It's the who, not the why. Anyways, you're the best DMac.
You need to thank Joik, though, because that money that he gave you when you bought him eggs paid for your parking.
I didn't know if I was going to use the Apple money, but I used the Apple money. So, thank you, Drake Brown. I never knew if I was going to use it, but I used it.
All right,
so
do like a cool transition. Be like, we're off to LCA, or say like, we're off to go see the Wings, and then we'll just say like something exciting.
Are you going to edit this out?
No, I'm going to keep it in. I can't edit it. I'm not an editor. So
that's why you press the record button.
Just say off to LCA.
All right, we're going to the Little Caesars Arena.
Oh, we know him! We know him! We know him! How come we're not down there? He's hanging out with Art. We talked to him at BDE.
We did talk to Art.
Yeah, look at it. It's like seeing your uncle on TV. Fish, we have to go fucking do. Security's gonna stop us. Shout out to DMac, though. This really, the BDE takeover has turned into the Fish takeover. Wow. Uncle D-Mac's hard at work. But shout out to Tammy real quick for the popcorn. That's a pretty cool tin. And we're here at the opener. NHL kicking off with the Wings. Thanks, Uncle D-Mac. Fish, one day you're going to have a line. We don't. Oh, God. I thought something smelled bad. One day you're going to have a line that long of people that want to meet you.
In England, they wouldn't be allowed to walk, and we'd sock them right in the teeth.
Oh, jeez. All right, you just got to keep working. You're just missing a couple Stanley Cups. That's it.
I am missing. Well, first I got to get out there and play.
Yeah. Get out there tonight and play. You're dressed for it?
No, I'm saying, look at me. Do I look like a hockey player?
You look, yeah.
Do I? I can't really hit anyone.
And there was Fish and Arts night as they went out to LCA for the home opener. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And obviously we got to meet up with some of the listeners as well.
Yeah.
Fish said thank you for the popcorn, Tammy. So he was fired up about that. But everybody had a good time.
Shout
it
out
was.
to Tammy.
Yeah. Real talk. Real talk.
You know what, though? What we didn't get on there, I was actually in that interview with DMac. I don't know if we have that picture of that, but he was doing this interview. And I said, hey, kind of similar to art. I say, hey, I know that guy right there. I know that guy. He's sitting by another art. And so I go up to him. He's doing this interview, and I go to tap him on the side, but he did not break character.
No,
he did not break character. He almost did. He kind of looked at it, and he caught himself, and he got back into his interview. I said, okay, D-Mac's being professional right now. I dig it.
He was professional. We'll have to tweet that picture out. So make sure you follow the show on Twitter. We'll tweet that picture out. Joik was sneaking his way in there, but it was a good time. There were lots of goals. I'm sure that makes a certain segment of the crowd that was there last night happy. Certainly, if you went to mybookie.ag and had the over, I know that you were happy. And where you're betting is just as important as who you are betting on. That's why I always tell people to put your money down at MyBookie. The Arizona Cardinals are out to a hot start. The Chiefs have as many losses as they did last year, and all the overs are hitting, it seems like, in the dying seconds of the game. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. Get in your NFL picks for Week 6, which includes a battle between two potential Super Bowl contenders when the Cardinals and Zach Ertz meet the Browns. It's crazy, isn't it? We're talking about Super Bowl contenders, and it's the Cardinals and the Browns. But hey, this is the world we're living in right now. Don't miss out on winning season. Go to MyBookie and use the promo code Woodward, and you'll get double your first deposit. That's promo code Woodward. You can double your funds to double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem gambling? Call the Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Off and running here on a Friday, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That guy is Joik Bell. That guy over there is Darren McCarty. Dave Schultz said, look at Neil repping the sponsors with the hat. They watch the show over there at the Planet Fitness on Maple Road. Yeah, absolutely. They watch the show, so they're big fans. And they gave me the swag, man. So it was cool.
I like the swag. You know what? I want you guys to go down there on our YouTube box and hit like. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
get a second, 3 seconds. Go down there, click like.
Go ahead and do
Appreciate
it.
it.
Go ahead and do it, exactly. Question.
Push the button.
Robert wants to know, says Neil and DMac, my question, number one, shouldn't the refs have given more than 2 minutes to protect the team captain like a quarterback? You can be rest assured that if that was Wayne Gretzky, that's 5 minutes. But, Robert, I would say they got 2 minors, so it was a 2-minute, 2-man advantage. I think the proper penance was paid.
Yeah, I was giving out the jersey at the time where I couldn't really see what was going on and all the schmozzle and stuff like that. But it's the game's changed. I mean, you're talking Forsters. You bring up Marty McSorley. I fought him, so the game is different now. You have to. It's more of like the team toughness and stuff. And I don't think that just because it's the captain in hockey, everybody should be. You have to have respect for everybody else, and a headshot's a headshot. But you know what? Good for Dylan Larkin. He got his money's worth. That's the one thing. If you're going to take a match or you're going to take a 5, you're going to want to make a statement. And throughout the league, people saw that. You're not going to be able to push them around. And in the long run, it'll benefit them.
Sure. No, absolutely.
And he didn't get hurt. Nobody got hurt. So.
And the Wings got a goal out of it.
There you go.
Yeah, they scored a goal on that 2-man advantage. So it did work out. Unfortunately, defensively, DMac, and look, I'm not trying to be a killjoy or anything like that, but DMac, the Red Wings, at no point in that game, both when it was 4-1 and when it was 6-3, was I sitting in that arena thinking, you know what? The Red Wings are 3 goals better than the Lightning here tonight. I thought that they danced with the devil a couple of times in the first 2 periods and got away with it. And Darren, look, you know, this is football, this is hockey, this is any sport really that you play. What dictates your fate is the mistakes you get away with versus the ones you pay for. And the Wings defensively got away with more than a couple mistakes in the first 2 periods, but in the 3rd period, the bill came due. And look, you can't continue to give Stamkos and Kucherov and all of those guys, you can't give them that many cracks at it because you will pay. I think what we did see last night, and certainly the hope was at an all-time high and people were hype and everything like that, but you saw... as they played the video during one of the breaks, the Macho Man cream of the crop interview, you saw the cream of the crop last night as far as the Lightning are concerned. I mean, Kucherov is as good as anybody in this league.
No, they definitely are. And you look at the goals that Tampa scored. The one-time goals. Stamkos almost in the corner on a couple of them. These are professionals. That's why they've won back-to-back cups. It reminds me of the Detroit Red Wings teams back in the 90s. And, you know, really it's sort of flopped because the Detroit Red Wings to the Tampa Bay Lightning are now the Phoenix Coyotes to us back in the day, or St. Louis or Chicago, that couldn't get by us. It reminded me of 02 going out to Vancouver, where, you know, Stevie pretty much said before practice out there when we were down 0-2, is like, guys, we're better than this. And it wasn't about them. It's just we got to play better. And sometimes that's sort of the conversation that top teams have, is they don't worry about who they're playing because it's irrelevant. And I think that when it comes to this, and Detroit's going to have to put themselves in the same position. There's a lot of similarities between the Lions and the Red Wings, except, you know, I think the Red Wings are a little bit more entertaining and watchable, and that this is what we should expect this year. 1 for 5 on the power play. They gave 3 for 7 was Tampa Bay, so they gave them, you give the most elite power play in the league, one of them anyways, those opportunities, they will make you pay. Especially then you look at what's the coach saying to them in the locker room as it's coming, because they laid an egg in their opener, right? So it was all up against it. Tampa is, you know, sort of what they expected, but, you know, Detroit's got to play, like Tammy said, 52 minutes they played last night. Well, it's a 60-minute hockey game. So, but for the home opener, it was everything you wanted.
Yeah, no,
certainly, except a win.
Certainly it was fun. Pete texts in and says, it's funny you didn't hear anybody saying they wanted to trade Bertuzzi because he wouldn't get the vaccine last night. It's funny how that changes right quick, doesn't it?
Changes quick, doesn't it?
Leading the league in
Changes
goals.
real quick, doesn't it? Real quick.
No, but Joik, I mean, that's the nature of the beast, right?
It is. So it's good when you go out there, you play well. You play well. And that move that, you know, and I was right in front of him when he made that move. And it happened so quick that you can't really see how sweet it really was. He really finessed between 2 guys and then was still able to get off a great shot to score that goal. That, you know, that caught my attention right there. There's no way I thought he would be able to get through those guys and get that shot off. But I'm telling you, man, Bertuzzi, he's going to be a problem this year. I know we talked about him probably only having 20 goals or having 20 goals by the end of the year. He might have 20 goals by the end of the month.
He's on that pace.
Yeah.
He is on that pace. Also in the YouTube chat thread, Darren, they want to know, will they take a number to get back at Joseph next time, or maybe next time they meet up in Tampa? Is that whole Larkin situation, is that a put that in the back of the memory bank and settle that later?
It's always put it in the back of the memory bank, and I think the guy who's going to do it is 71 who's going to put it, because there's a guy where you play against, and where if he's going to step up, Dylan Larkin or somebody else, you don't forget stuff like that. You know, obviously winning the game and all this stuff, but you will not forget that. How about that? Tyler Bertuzzi only played 9 games last year, had 5 goals, has 9 goals his last 10, or 9 goals his last 10 games played.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
No, it is. And again, you know, you just don't hear anybody saying, oh, we'll trade him, get him out of the locker room. Yeah.
You know what I heard? A friend of ours and the host of Game Day Live, where Daniela Bruce was telling me that she knows Tyler Bertuzzi is going to miss some games in Canada, but she took him on her fantasy hockey team and already ahead. So, I mean, the kid can play, and he's proven that, you know, he's special, and he's a special ingredient that they need. And you saw the way Larkin on the score sheet, you saw some of the goals they scored, driving to the hard areas, you know, being there for the greasy goals right around the net. So there's a lot of good things, but there's a lot of things they need to work on.
All right, so we're going to take a break right now real quick. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Keyshawn Harris of the Michigan Wolverines. When we return, we'll get his thoughts as they get ready to roll against Michigan State, having the bye week this week. We'll be right back with Keyshawn Harris. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That guy is Joyke Bell. That guy is Darren McCarty. Happy to have you guys with us here today. And right now, as promised, we are joined by defensive back for the Michigan Wolverines, the number 8 team in the nation. They are undefeated right now, riding pretty high. They're on a bye week this week as we welcome in Keyshawn Harris. And Keyshawn, certainly do appreciate you taking the time here today. And I guess just give us the vibe, Keyshawn. You guys are rolling, piling up some wins right now. Everybody's got to be feeling pretty good, I would imagine.
Yeah, first off, I want to just say, thank you for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate it. But yeah, going into this bye week, we feel real good. We're 6-0 right now. We've been playing some of the best football in the last couple of years. So right now we're feeling really, really good. So
good. So real quick, Keyshawn. So I called you, reached out because we're kind of like family, right? We're extended family. So a real quick story about Keyshawn. So his father grew up in Benton Harbor, Michigan. His family is like my god brother, so we kind of grew up. He's a little bit older than me, and so when he was on a varsity football team, I had to be about in the 6th or 7th grade. And I was that snot-nosed kid who just wanted to be on the sideline and be the ball boy. I just wanted to be the ball boy. And so I told you a story about T.J. Duckett. I asked him when I met him in person, like, what was the hardest hit he ever took? And he said it was actually in high school, not in the NFL. And I said, who was it? He said, well, it was a guy from Benton Harbor by the name of Jimmy Harris. And Jimmy Harris was my god brother. And so told me the story that he knocked his knee brace off when he hit him. Hit him back about 5 yards. So that guy is Keyshawn Harris' father, and so it's pretty dope to have him on and see how that football blood runs deep. And so it was pretty cool to have you on. Now, aside from football, real quick, I want to talk about your other attributes real quick, and then we're going to come back around to it. One thing people don't know about you that you run track as well, correct?
Yep, I run track here at University of Michigan.
Yeah, and so in high school you were a 4-time champ in the 300 lows, and you also ran the 110s with a time of 13.98. Is that accurate?
Yep. So my junior year, I won the 300 hurdles. I came second in the 110, but then I came back my senior year, and for indoor, I was a 60 meter hurdle state champion in the 110 and the 300. So
big time.
Guys got some hops, talking with Keyshawn Harris, defensive back number 18 for the University of Michigan Wolverines. Now, you mentioned to Neil early that you guys are playing some of the best football to that. What do you, because we see it as fans and as media people, is that there's a difference out of Michigan this year. What do you attribute that to? Because I agree, you guys are playing some of the best ball, and I'm not hearing about how great you are. What is it like inside that room, and why are you guys gelling so well?
To be honest, I think it's just everybody just buying into a single goal. Our single goal is to win as many games as we can, and to be Big Ten championships, and to be included in that playoff run. So I think everybody just buying in and knowing what we have to do, and believing in our coaches. We have a great coaching staff that came in this spring. So I think everybody just believing in each other and just having, each other's back, and just wanting to pursue that goal. I think that's what's kind of changing the culture around here.
Now, with the coaches moving, they're bringing in the new coaches, the new coaching staff. What is the atmosphere now in the locker room, on the football field, on game day? Are they more relatable? Do you guys like the new schemes that they're putting in? You feel that they're putting you guys in better position? Like, what is the atmosphere like? I guess in the locker room now.
Yeah, the atmosphere is different. I think just bringing in young coaches that kind of can relate to us. I think that's something that we all kind of like, all can kind of appreciate. I think just even the atmosphere at practice, it's just like everybody's just ready to go from the jump. You know, whether it's individual, team, period, everybody's just ready to go. And the atmosphere in the locker room, I feel like everybody like this year's feel like more of a family. I feel like everybody's just coming together and like really just had each other's back and just appreciative of everybody's time here. So.
Keyshawn Harris joining us here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty. So, Keyshawn, I have to ask you this, man. As a Lansing Waverly guy, and we were talking about your track attributes. You racked up some state titles on the track side of things. How does a kid from Lansing Waverly end up at Michigan? Doesn't that go against the code there when you're living in Lansing? How does that work?
A lot of people when I tell them I'm from Lansing Waverly, they're like, "Who?" What? So it's kind of like. It's kind of like for me. This is all a blessing for me, like because it took a lot to be here and to be where I'm at, and still to keep on doing what I'm doing. So to be honest, it's just a blessing, and I'm grateful from a kid from Lansing Waverly to make it here. That's why a lot of times I try to as best as I can to try to promote the other kids from not even Waverly but Lansing, because Lansing produces a lot of talent. So I just want people to see that and to notice, what great talent we have in the city.
Keyshawn Harris joining us here.
Yeah, so it's funny that you chose Michigan because I actually have a video on when you were going there for your visit in 2019. In February of 2019, you were going there for your visit. You were there. They had your locker. You was pointing at the shoes. And you don't know I have this video of you, but I actually had this video sent to me 2 years ago, and I still have it in my text thread. And so do you remember taking your visits to U of M? Do you remember those times?
Yeah, I remember the exact day, everything I did. So yeah, of course.
Yeah. So question. So what made you choose U of M though? I mean, you're right there at MSU. What made you say, you know what, U of M is the school for me?
Me and my family always grew up as a Michigan fan, so I remember watching Denard, Roy Roundtree, like everybody. So like for me, this was kind of like my dream school. So when I had the opportunity and the offer to go to Michigan, it was like a no-brainer. Like a lot of people think that, since I live in Lansing and East Lansing and Michigan State's right there, that I was automatically like want to go to that school. But for me, Michigan, this has been my dream school. So this like I said, this is a blessing.
It's funny. I guess I'm not doing the right thing because I grew up a Michigan fan, and when I go back home, I talk to my son. His dream school is MSU, and I just don't understand. I don't understand it, but I do understand because I kind of grew up an MSU basketball fan, and I grew up a U of M, football fan. Just the history there, the culture. Do we have that, Adam? Oh, okay.
No.
For sure.
Yeah, so as promised, right now we are joined by Keyshawn Harris here. He's from the University of Michigan. They're getting ready to do battle with Northwestern. Now, Keyshawn, I know that's front of your mind and everything like that. I'm not even going to waste the time of talking about what's going down the road from an individual perspective. But I will ask it to you like this, Keyshawn. I mean, when you did decide to go to Michigan, and look, everybody knows what the story has been lately for the Michigan football program. This is what you envision, though, right? Like, just in terms of what's on the horizon. Certainly you guys are focused on Northwestern. I know that. You know that. Everybody around knows that. But as you look down the horizon of what's coming for this Michigan football team, this is why you came to Michigan, right? You thought that you could play a part in kind of restoring what Michigan football was. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially when you look at teams like, our rival schools like Michigan State, Ohio State. Like, as a little kid, this is something you dream of and you want to be a part of. So me actually, being on the field and participating and being a part of this team to play those rival schools, this is like this. I think this is any kid's dream. You want to be a part of those rivalries.
So how's it looking for you guys, Keyshawn, in terms of that next matchup against Northwestern? I guess how does the game plan work? You guys have the bye this week. When you guys showed up for practice this week, was it boom right into the Northwestern game plan? Do you guys maybe shore some things up? Take us through this week of practice going into a bye week.
Going to the bye week is really just, getting everybody back healthy. That's the main priority. We're still, of course, focused on Northwestern and the teams ahead, but really just coming this week, just trying to get everybody back healthy and ready to go for next week.
Good. And real quick, I know how they got you to go to Michigan when you went there. You already wanted to go there, but when you saw this right here, it was a done deal. You remember this? You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
all the Jordan shoes.
So all the Jordan, because
Shoes, yeah.
yeah.
Well, Keyshawn, that I mean, real talk, like that kind of stuff that plays a part in it, does it not? I mean, I'm a college sports broadcaster. I talk to the college student athletes all the time. I mean, that stuff does play a part, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, when the school has the Jordan brand and all the shoes and cleats and they're kind of, exposing that to you, of course, like any kid's gonna want to go to that school.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm there. So to certain guys, depending on how you're recruited, you can only get up to these pair of shoes, and then you can get these pair of shoes if you're higher recruited.
I guess DMac
that's
wants
to
to
be
know.
a tough selection, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to have the keys to the whole cupboard, right? How do you make it's personal taste? I guess it's great, but it'd be a tough decision at some times. So I'm going to look for your shoes there next Saturday, week from Saturday. I'm going to see which ones you're sporting, bro.
All right.
I want to go back into last week. So I remember we were talking about some of the things that you guys will struggle with in the past, going into, say, Nebraska or Wisconsin and not pulling out those games. But now you guys are going into those games, and even if they are close, you guys are figuring out a way to win these games. And I knew that going into Nebraska, that game would be a little tough. They played some pretty good teams, and they stuck around, even though they might not have come out on the winning side, but they've been around. And so I knew that game would be tough. What was you guys' thought process going through that game, and how did you guys, I guess, make the changes necessary in the second half to continue to be able to pull that game out?
I think really just trusting in our coaches and trusting in what we were taught to do. I think Nebraska was like the first game where we really kind of like dealt with adversity. So I think at that point it was kind of different because it was our first time dealing with it. But like I know like towards the fourth quarter, like nobody was pointing fingers. Like we just believed in what our coach was saying, and we just stuck to executing the game plan. So I think that's what kind of kept us together and to be able to win that game.
You know what, though? I think that's also a good sign to have to go through that at this point in the season, because you guys can kind of see what the pedigree you guys have. And I think that will help you guys out going down the line. I think that's important to kind of have that adversity, because you don't really see who you really are until you have that adversity. Right? That's real. All right.
Yeah, but Keyshawn, certainly we do appreciate your time, and I'll hit you with this final one here before we let you go. As you guys get ready to play Northwestern next weekend, Keyshawn, the entire state of Michigan's counting on you guys to every fan, whether you're a Michigan fan, whether you're a Michigan State fan, everybody is looking towards the 30th. Again, I know that you guys are not. You have business to tend to on the 23rd, but I'm just telling you, Keyshawn, every college football fan in the state of Michigan is counting on both you guys to make this thing work, to make the 30th pop off, I guess you would say. So, again, appreciate the time, Keyshawn. Continue good luck for you, and we'll catch back up with you down the road.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, no problem. I got one last question for him.
Oh, okay.
One last one. This is a family question.
Sure.
Now, as we, you come to a certain age, right, where I say, you know what, Dad, I can take you. I can take you now, Dad. Keyshawn, are you at that point now? You can say you can look at your dad now, because his dad's still kind of big. You think you can take your dad yet, or you need a little bit more time?
Listen, yeah, for sure. Listen, he still is kind of big, but listen, the confidence I got, yeah, for sure. Listen, we listen plenty of times throughout high school, and even now, like there'll be times where he'll try to test me. And I'll try to get even with him. So, yeah, I think I can take him for sure.
You think you can take him for sure? You know what it is? Make sure we clip that, because I'm clipping it. I'm sending it to your dad. And I'm pretty sure the next time you go home when the off season is, you guys are going to have to have another one. You got to have another one.
Got to.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, Keyshawn, man. Everybody, Keyshawn Harris, University of Michigan. Thanks for coming on, man. Great guy.
Absolutely. So, again, looking forward to that. And I know what the deal is. Everybody's looking towards the 30th, but players just aren't. They're not wired that way, man. They're not wired. It's such a routine. It's such a routine, man.
You can never look past a team.
Yeah.
You can never do it. That's when you slip up and you lose one. And now that loss is going to sit with you because you didn't take it as serious, and now it's going to trickle into the following week.
Sure, absolutely. But We're staring at it, man. October 30th.
It's coming.
People want all the chips on the table. They want it all, man.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Michigan State playing this week. Michigan with the bye, as we said. But next week they will play Northwestern. It's so close, everybody can taste it, man.
Who you think got this one, MSU or Michigan? Who you think got it?
I mean, our early predictions here. For me, I think I think Michigan is more. I think Michigan top to bottom, and people question me when I said this before. I think Michigan from player 1 to player 83 or however many players are on the roster. I think Michigan is more talented, but I do believe, until proven otherwise, I do think Michigan State is tougher. Like when it comes to punching each other in the mouth. That's where I think Michigan State has the edge. The chip on the shoulder, I guess you would say. I say Michigan State has more of the chip on the shoulder.
It'll be interesting to see what the line comes down as. Hopefully they'll both be undefeated and should be.
Well, you know what's interesting about that, DMac, is listening to media talk yesterday, and we talk about we're in the MyBookie studio, so you keep up on what's going on in that world, where some of the, I guess you would say, established handicappers were posed the question for the Michigan-Ohio State game and the Michigan State-Ohio State game, and they said roughly Ohio State would be about an 8 to 10 point favorite in both of those games. Like think about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is true. We've closed the gap, right? Michigan and both Michigan State teams, might have closed the gap, but still, rubber meets the road when they play. Doesn't matter what it is, and we'll get the eye test. The fact that there's a chink in the Ohio State armor is something that you have to look as a positive. But Michigan State's got to take care of business this week. Michigan's got to take care of business next week, and then hopefully the week of we'll have something to talk about.
Jay Thomas on our YouTube chat thread says we need both those teams undefeated. We need that undefeated matchup. Go green. What do you got, Fish?
As of right now, Michigan on ESPN, the Football Power Index, Michigan has a 53.2% chance to win the game. Michigan State on October 30th.
Yeah, and that's about where I am. I mean, who's going to make the mistake, Joy? And you can't handicap that. Who's going to put the ball on the ground? Who's going to throw the untimely interception? Yeah. You can't handicap. I think it is a 50-50 game.
It is, and you look at Cade, and he's been very, very protective of his process with the ball, of his decisions. He's had one turnover, and he just had that last game. That's the first interception he thrown was last game, and like you said, it's going to come down who makes a mistake,
man.
Who gets the punt block, who blocks the field goal.
Does Michigan State make a big play? And I would say, and we'll break it down obviously as we get to it. Michigan State is a team that has really relied on big plays. I mean, big plays that you can't count on. 90-yard runs, 70-yard passes, punt returns for touchdowns. Kind of the same way Iowa's living right now, but defensively. Iowa's getting so many turnovers a game, so many interceptions a game. Can you count on that every single time? I don't think you can count on it, but the threat is there, and that's what makes it intriguing.
Who else is on a bye week today?
Who?
Coast.
The Machete?
The Machete's on a bye week. It's out getting sharp, and I've been using it around here. You saw that. But the lights are getting revamped. Everything. We'll have new product, but you can go to coastportland.com. Use WSN 20% off. All the do-it-yourselfers, first responders, outdoors. Time of the season, the leaves are changing. They're falling on the ground. You got to clean up that backyard. Go to coastportland.com. Use WSN 20. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. Joint Bell, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. Be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Papa Romano's has a pizza that is pleased to meet you. The Pizza Pizza is a sizzling deal and fully loaded with pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, and bacon. Get a large Pizza for $16.99 at paparomanos.com.
The NFL season's underway, but you can still draft a new fantasy team each week on Underdog Fantasy to win cash prizes. Through their slick mobile app and user-friendly site, you can join a league and draft a team in just minutes. Plus, the folks at Underdog are going to help you get started with a free $10 when you sign up and make your first deposit with the promo code WSN. Underdog Fantasy, WSN is the code. So just go to UnderdogFantasy.com, the App Store, or the Google Play Store. Sign up with the code WSN, deposit $10. You'll get $10 free. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WSN. It's on and popping here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, and it was pretty cool, man. I like those stories too, Joik. You know, with Keyshawn Harris, where these guys, that's where he wanted to be, and damn it, he got there.
He got it.
You know, so that's really cool. It was really cool talking to him.
Yeah, you know, it's a testament to like his parents as well. Both his parents were athletes. His mother was a track star. His father was a exceptional football player. Went on to play college ball as well. And great family. Great family. I'm happy for him. Proud of him. Long time coming.
Shows you manifest your reality, and what you put in, you will get out a lot of the time. So there's an example, and it's cool to hear kids say, "Yeah, Nike sponsorship and stuff, that does matter," because
I talk to him all the time. Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
I
man.
walk into the locker room and there's new Red Wings swag. I'm all over it.
All over it.
It's great. That's part of who we are. We love.
Except you weren't
stuff.
getting the white Nike skates. Those were reserved for one man only.
Yeah, that's a 91 thing. I wasn't getting anything white. Let's just say that. It wasn't staying white for very long.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but you know, it was cool to talk to him and to get his perspective. And you know, again, I wasn't going to ask about it because they're not programmed that way. You would get no response. I literally would have wasted oxygen asking about Michigan State and Ohio State because it just doesn't matter to them right now.
We could have tested him out. See what he would have said. Just look. We could have tested it.
Nah, I'm not putting him in that spot, Joy.
I would have asked him. He's well polished. He knows. He's well polished.
MPWMU says Ohio State's currently a 5-point favorite right now against Michigan. I'm guessing that is projecting them to both be undefeated when they meet up. Because I would say if Michigan takes a loss, you'll see that line spike to 7 or 8 points. But that's just my guess. You know, I'm not an expert in it, so I don't know. But a lot of talk still about the whole Dylan Larkin boarding incident. Like, people, it was chippy. People seem to not like the Tampa Bay Lightning here.
No, and they're not supposed to because they're the champs. We got to go through them. The roles have sort of reversed, where we used to be the team that everybody had to go through. Now we got to make a name for ourselves. So I like the fact that people are going, wasn't last night captain's night? And they kicked out the captain on captain's night?
They
That's
did.
pretty BS, right? Zetterberg and Lidstrom flew across the pond, to see this guy play. And at least he got his goal.
Yeah, no, he did. He did. That was cool. So
they said. So do we have? So who will be considered our goon on the Wings? Who's our goon?
That's Smith.
Well, Smith would be our tough guy.
He had that look last night too. Like when he came out on the ice,
he came out the gloves.
He came out the gloves. When he got on the ice, he came out with purpose. Every single time.
He was. Nobody want. And here's the thing: where he's got to establish more and to be able to be on the ice more, to play more, is where he can be more effective. When you got a guy like Giovanni Smith, like you. The high end of that is Tom Wilson, who plays with Alex Ovechkin in Washington, who played in Plymouth here, right? That plays that physical style, plays on edge, obviously but you play against the top guys. When you come off the bench as the so-called goon or the enforcer, well, the top guys don't have to, they just laugh at you because you're not going to get back out there against them because you're more of a detriment. So it's something of finding that time of being on the ice, and that's where, what it came to me is the values that with the grind line is that we could play against anybody, so you had to be accountable. So he'll find his way, but yeah, the eagerness and wanting to do it, but then sometimes it's not there. But he will put that in the memory bank. Don't you worry about it. He'll put Joseph in the memory bank.
It's going to be must watch when they play each other again. I haven't looked that deep into the schedule, but I'll be checking that one out if I get the chance to. There's no doubt about it. Detroit Lions will be in action here at Ford Field on Sunday, coming up in the 12 o'clock hour. We'll talk to the Detroit Lions hometown hero for this week. He's the one that will be honored at the game. during the middle of the game. That's Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard. He will join us here in studio, so that's pretty cool. Looking forward to having that conversation. But it is the Bengals and the Lions. Lions, of course, looking for that first win. I see the Bengals have bounced back up to a 3-and-a-hook favorite. I have noticed the Lions are getting a lot of steam from people in terms of this will be the week they're going to win. There's a lot of teams picking the Lions this week. That does concern me a little bit, DMac. That concerns me because you know what? You know how I like to do it.
You want to come in under the radar.
I want to zag when everyone's zigging.
Side. But the hook's pretty cool. The fact that they got the hook. But I mean, I don't know. I'm going to save till you ask me what my pick is. But when everybody else is on them, that's when it usually goes opposite. We've seen it many times. I know you like to sneak in and be the only one.
No, because it usually, that's how those casinos get built. Like they
keep
not
building them every day.
Every day they keep building them. But Joik, I mean, just again, we haven't talked a ton about it this week, but the Lions, certainly the injury situation, we all know that. But at some point, the Lions are going to win a football game this year. It's probably going to be at home. I mean, why not this one, right?
Why not? Do I see it happening? Anything can happen. If I had to put my money on the line on who's going to win the game, not the point spread, just who's going to win. Given the track record, I would say the Bengals, but I'm a diehard Lions fan at this point, so I'm gonna say the Lions. But if I had to put money down, I'll say the Bengals right now. I mean, the guys are rolling. I mean, you have some deep threats there, and then we have a lot of issues with our DBs. Who's gonna cover? Like, who's covering Chase? Who can we trust to cover him?
That's a great question.
Like, who do you have? I mean, we don't have anyone right now, so. I guess this is a great opportunity. And like in this games like this, where the guys who want to be on the team next year, be a part of this rebuild, can go out here and make a name for themselves. They can do that this week. I'll give you an example. A guy by the name of Brandon Carr. You remember Brandon Carr?
Yeah.
From the GLIAC, went to Kansas City Chiefs. Their cornerback went down with an injury, and his first time going out there to play, you know who he had to hold? Randy Moss. Did a heck of a job. Ended up earning a starting spot, and them signing a $50 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys, and went on to play for the Ravens as well, and had a long career. And so these are the type of games where you have an opportunity to go out there and make a name for yourself. Let's see what happens.
And as far as it goes to the Bengals, and there'll be some draft ties to it, I guess you could say as well. Everyone thought, I talked about this earlier this week, everyone thought the Bengals were going to take Penei Sewell. Instead, they went with Jamar Chase, and the early returns are, and you talked about it, who's going to check Chase as far as the Lions are concerned. Because make no mistake, and this goes back to it, damn it, Darren, like when I talk about rookies, right away 90% of the time, and we know Jamar Chase. Already, I'm comfortable saying Jamar Chase is a player in this league.
No, absolutely. I think the eyeball test for a lot of guys is you can see, you can see the potential, or if you see they have the it. He's got the it. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday about a lot of times in this league, you look to the way the NFL's evolved, it's the quarterback tight end combination. Well, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have played a lot of football together back at LSU and stuff, and you can see that they've carried that on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think individual cases vary, but that one right there, eyeball test, he's a player. He's a good, he's a solid. He's going to be stays healthy, coming right out of college, running those routes, showing the speed, putting the ball in the end zone like he has been. I mean, he's everything that you want in your first rounder. 4th overall, where you can go, okay, we didn't, we're teams, even if you're a Cincinnati fan going, I wanted Sewell. Okay, this guy's good. Okay, right? Like, I mean, if it was opposite, so it's one of those things that, at least for Cincinnati, they got their quarterback, they got their 1A receiver, so.
D. Smitty says in our YouTube chat thread, we just need Jared Goff to take care of the football because he's been a weaker link than the wide receivers. And Joik, I mean, let's bottom line this, man. You can't turn the football out. You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it, especially when you're 0-5. You especially can't do it when you have an inferior roster. You just can't do it.
I think he makes those decisions. He makes those bad decisions when he doesn't go through his progressions. He doesn't make the proper reads, or he tries to play outside of his element. Right? When he plays within his element, he's making the proper reads. He does quite well. Right? He does well. But if you look at the coach does a great job with Anthony Lynn. Comes on and say, you know what? That starts with me. Getting to the red zone and saying that we shouldn't. It falls back on me, and that it's my play calling and taking the blame off of his players. That's great leadership. But we all know that this is a player's game. Players play, coaches coach. That's period. And so I think going forward, like, it just got to be him making the proper decisions, stand on the field, keeping the defense off of the field. We have right now. We're thin at DB. Amani he's questionable. We have Bobby Price. You have AJ Parker, Jerry Jacobs, guys that you probably never heard of. That this might be your time. This might be your time to go out there and play well and earn a spot here and be here in the future.
And Joe Burrow, by the way, spends Sunday night in the hospital. No Q next to his name. He's ready to roll.
Yeah, no, and that's the one thing is coming out and having that ability, no matter how good that Joe Burrow, whatever else, the thing with our quarterback, we don't have the luxury of turning the ball over unnecessarily, and that's the fumbles. The fumbles are the ones, that hurt the most. So, Jared Goff, we don't have the luxury of not taking care of the ball. We don't take care of the ball, we're going to lose regardless.
I know one thing you're not going to fumble. Neil.
Lunch.
You're not gonna fumble lunch.
Not gonna fumble lunch, especially if you go to paparomanos.com, because they got a pizza that's pleased to meet ya. That's right. It's the Meets a Pizza, everyone, at Papa Romano's. Pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, bacon, everything you need to live is right there on the Pizza Pizza. $16.99 for a large. You can squat up on that. And 3 of you in the office right there. Put 5 on it. You can put 5 on it, Joy. Get you a couple slices. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. Get deep with the cubicle. Get squad deep. Get squad deep with everyone there at the office.
I'm gonna eat that double cheese. I got 5 on.
Okay, hit it.
PapaRomanos.com. Tell them DMac sent you. Papa Romanos, everyone.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Is it getting nippy outside? Are you cold? Do you have a fireplace? Well, if you don't fret, my friend. Call Northwestern Tech. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Joy Bill. That's Neil Roy. That's Darren McCarty.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Coming up on the second hour of the show on a Friday. We talked a lot of hockey on a Friday. That says something, too. That says something about the juice in the building down at the LCA. People were fired up, man. There was no doubt about it. But I know when I got out of the game, I hopped in the car, flipped on the satellite radio, tuned into the Giants-Dodgers game. That was a good one coming down the stretch. The Dodgers end up getting the win. Max Scherzer gets the save, the first save of his career. And I get these from time to time, and we see these out there. And a good buddy of mine texted me and said, his name's Pete. He said, hey, do you remember that time Mr. Ilitch lowballed Max Scherzer on the contract offer?
I do.
I say it all the time. That was the day the music died. And, oh, by the way, there's Max Scherzer again getting it done. And he did whatever was asked.
I got a question for you guys, because if you saw the final out, right, which was a check swing, which on the replay wasn't even close, that the umpire said that he went around for strike 3. Does that bother you at all?
No, because they weren't scoring a run off Max Scherzer.
Okay, but just is it bad optics to go out like that after the season you have, and like if they had sort of the computerized or something where they could, what we're talking about because of instant replay, and then we're talking about the strike zone and being inconsistent and stuff like this, or is this just pretty much that's the way baseball is?
No, to me that was how close those two teams are.
Yeah.
And don't be down 2-1 in Game 5. In the ninth inning. I mean, and
Cody Bellinger, props to him, who
Yeah.
struggled throughout the year and stuff like that. But that's championship pedigree. It's a lot like we saw Tampa Bay do to our Red Wings last night. Is you got to embrace that moment, and they were able to do that. But that's what champions do.
Yeah, Tammy says, I miss Max. We were blessed when the Tigers had that pitching staff. Steve R. said, wish Max would have showed up when he was in the playoffs for us. Well, I would say he did. If you remember that game against Oakland where the bases were loaded and he came in and did the job. So, I mean, Max Scherzer did do that. Max Scherzer was not the problem. I would say lowballing him on a contract offer was more of a problem than Max Scherzer was. And you know how I'm right, DMac? He got $70 million more from Washington. 70. $70 million more.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to
Joy,
tell you. Hindsight
$70
can kick
million
you in the butt
more.
sometimes. You said not 7. You said 70.
70
more million.
70 more million. Where are you going, Joy?
70 million?
Yeah. You're going for the 70 million, right?
If I get 70, I mean, so you say you give me 70 million, so
somebody offers you 140 million, but then the next person offers you 210 million.
I'm gonna go to where, I mean, once you get over 100 million, like at that point, it's just
Don't play that game, Joy. It's $70 million, man.
It's a no-brainer.
I know people who.
I know what you're saying, but
70,
and you haven't got your
70.
big contract yet. Remember that.
And you
don't
bet on
have
yourself.
70 in the bank. You got $70.
I'm saying right now, I'm
in
gonna
the
go to
bank.
wherever I'm gonna go to wherever I'm happy at. All right, and honestly, I'm not.
Are you happy at the bank?
Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna be
210 million
Can I
for
finish?
5 years.
Can I finish what I'm about to say? Can I finish? I'm gonna go to wherever I'm happy, and $70 million is going to make me more happy. So I'll be happy.
All right, there you go. I'm happy at the bank.
My bad. You can't jump the bell gun.
Yeah.
That was a legitimate joint bell. Fair enough. Back of my cage.
Dom Rivera says losing Max was like losing Sue. We lost our identity, and that's fair because
that's fair to say.
100% it's fair because look at what Scherzer went on to do. And I think that's an underrated part of what he did. He let that contract play out and he bet on himself.
He did.
And guess who won?
That's the whole thing too, is betting on himself and he is a bulldog when he's out there. When it's so cool, he's got 2 different colored eyes, but the way that he focuses in, that he's bringing it and he's intense. As intense as they get. So, I mean, who else do you want leading the charge? But, at some point he had to bet on himself, and guess what? He made the right decision.
No, absolutely he did, and the Dodgers survive and advance. They were up against it. They certainly were. But, you look at them, they lost Clayton Kershaw, and, Walker Buehler had his struggles in that series, and they lost the game that Max Scherzer pitched because he gave up a run and had 10 strikeouts.
I know.
And they lost and got shut out.
Yeah.
But they bounced back. I mean, I contended that Dodgers-Giants series, that winner, will be the one that goes back to the World Series and will ultimately win the World Series. I mean, that was high-level baseball.
High-level baseball, and Atlanta's no slouch either. But
I don't see them as having the firepower.
No, they don't. Well, it's got to be interesting because Atlanta's always the one you really don't know deep down what they are, right? Until they get out there, because they have a lot of players that the sort of the names, but you don't follow them. Whereas the Dodgers are right on your front page, and most of those guys and stuff like that. But I agree, Neil. When you have 106 and 107 win team in baseball play each other in the knockout round, that's something needs to change, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny because both teams are. When you ask people what's special about the Giants this year, like what's special about them, what makes them what makes them great? And people are saying, you know what, they don't know. They say, you know, they're they get big hits when they need them in big games, and that's kind of the identity they're creating there in the organization, which is weird because that's kind of been the Dodgers' identity for the past couple of years as well. And so going into this game, this series has been a good series. It's been a great series. You know, you have some games that kind of, the team got blown out the water, and some close games, 1-0. And I'm excited for this game.
No, playoff baseball always delivers, man. Yeah. Like, for as long as that season is, and for the periods of time that you check out, the 1-1 pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike pitch in playoff baseball always gets me every single at bat, every single moment. Because it's just so big, and I'm a big analytics guy, as you guys know. I'm big into the numbers and stuff like that. The way that the analytics flip between a 1-2 count and a 2-1 count, and just everything that goes, every pitch. I know it's cliche, but really, I mean, every pitch is so full of drama. Well, it is, and obviously, it's the playoff time and stuff like this, and when you have the good teams, we mentioned it. I said to you off the air or something. Does it feel like baseball playoffs? And we're baseball guys. It's like no, but now it's starting to. It's starting to warm up. The juice is starting to go. Starting to flow. And stuff like that. But I will say this: baseball is dying because you know what? Being a diehard baseball fan, and if it's changing a little weird for me, then it's got to be weird for everybody else, right? Right. Like that vibe, that feeling, just like. You walk into LCA, anybody was there. That vibe and the buzz in the building was awesome. Hopefully we have that buzz at Ford Field on Sunday night. But there's just that baseball playoff. So now it seems like it's revving up for us diehards, but they got a problem. The baseball has a huge problem. You know me. I've been saying that forever, man. You have been, and I think maybe so. It's just sort of like a lot of times it's sort of when we bring things up to each other, we sort of let them permeate just to see. Okay, I don't see. Oh wow. Oh okay. Yeah, and you're right. You did say this. You've been saying this for a long time. So I'm saying it for a couple of years. And again, I always qualify it. I have a unique perspective to talk about it because I'm a baseball fan. Like, I like baseball. I enjoy baseball. But that doesn't... Yeah, I'm one of the 5. Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. And I really like... And you're a real baseball fan, not like Maz. Right. Maz ain't big. He only likes it when the Yankees are in the World Series or when they're doing a 30 for 30 on the Mets. Hey, did you see the 30 for 30 on the Mets? Hey. No, Maz, don't need to. Team was good. Team did a lot of cocaine. Team won the World Series. A lot of players got arrested. Seems to be the 80s? Is that the 80s? That's the 80s, baby. No, George, before my time. Let's talk about the 80s, bro. But before my time. No, but that's what it was. Thank God it was a little before my time. Who you got winning the World Series, DMac? You know what? I got to take the Dodgers. I've had them all along, and when they face that the perseverance of what they face in the first round, I mean you have that winning pedigree. I got to go with you. What about you, Joik? It's between one of these two teams, though, and I'll probably say the Dodgers just because, you flip a coin here. But the lineup, I mean, the lineup is what turns it over for me. Like last night, Bellinger's getting big hits, and as you said, he struggled during the season. By the way, Mookie Betts is on that team. During the season. Yeah. How good is that guy? How good is Mookie Betts? Everywhere in the field. Like, I mean, that's the money, when you spend, and obviously Dodgers being one that throwing checks at everybody or whatever like this, but that is money well spent if you can say hundreds of $1 million is well spent. Well, the Nationals did when they got Scherzer. And it was because they won a World Series. And I see here Steve R. said, Game 1 in 2014, we lost 12-3. Max took the loss against the Orioles. And, yeah, I mean, you could pick that out of anybody's resume. What is he, like 7? I think he's 7-6 career in the playoffs. He's got 124 innings pitched with 153 strikeouts. So 3.18 ERA. The numbers are pretty good. Plus, he's won a game in the World Series, unlike Justin Verlander, who is everybody's hero. Not what we think. Not what I think. It's what I know. He's never left a World Series game better than when he started it. That you can look it up if you want. But, I digress. If you're into facts. Yeah, if you're into facts. No, but we're going to talk a little college football when we come back because Michigan State, and I know that everybody, as we said, the whole Michigan State October 30th discussion. By the way, Michigan State's got to play this week, and nobody's talking about it. And we're going to talk about it when we come back. But remember, Lions in action this Sunday downtown. Woodward Sports will be there as well. And you can go down to the Tin Roof for the Woodward Sports pregame show. Join Woodward Sports, DraftKings, Jose Cuervo, and WRIF for the Lions pregame show. Jade will be there from WRIF as well. We'll be simulcasting on 101.1 FM. Live from the Tin Roof downtown. You can come out, win great Woodward Sports prizes and more. So come on down and say hi to everybody there. Get involved. And don't forget, Stick and Anson will be there downtown for the postgame show as well.
Who's going to be there? That's
brought to you by, that'll be Stick and Anson down in the building. Okay. Woodward Sports and Jim Beam are bringing it to you at the Brass Rail, and they'll start broadcasting live at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. That's after every home and away game, so slide on through.
I'll be there.
Yeah, all right. There you go. Joik Bell will be in that building. That's right. That's right. Joik will be out there.
Are you coming, Neil?
I will not be there for this one. I have some NCAA soccer.
Do you think?
NCAA soccer to do for ESPN
I'll
Plus. You hold it down for me, though, Joik, because I know we put on a banger when we were down there in Royal Oak.
We did. We did.
Real
man.
talk.
Yeah, real talk. No cap.
People at Jose Cuervo set it up as well. But get down to the Brass Rail, too. They'll have an after party with a VIP area for Woodward sports fans, pizza, and more. The official postgame for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. Joik Bell is in the house as well, as is DMac, Darren McCarty. Fish over there in the bowl. Fish rallied, man. He was up late last night at the Red Wings game. That game did go long, man. That was over a 3-hour game. That's very baseball of them, DMac.
That was with the pregame and stuff like that. So
well,
yeah.
13 goals.
Well, the second
fights.
period certainly didn't help. Where they had about 5 minutes discussing the Larkin penalty. So that certainly didn't help.
Yeah, it had a very baseball vibe to it. I will say that. Like, hey, get her going,
that's
gang.
sort of the night you don't mind it. Opening night, all the festivities, because the juice in the building carried, right, with everything going on. So, you know what? That's I'm sure Fish will get back on his sleep schedule to New Zealand this weekend.
Yeah, he'll take in rugby or whatever.
Fish said he had a
it
great
is.
time, so that's all that matters to me.
And you know what I noticed too, and Joik, you can probably confirm this. The drinks were. It was a thirsty Thursday out there at LCA. The people were knocking them back last. They were vibing.
Oh, absolutely.
It was good times. It was good times. So the funny thing is, so we're literally in the game for the first and second period, and then the third period we go and I go meet with the some friends in the club, and we go to sit and we have some more club seats. We don't even make it to the club seats. We're in the club the entire third period.
There's vortexes you get caught in that.
You get caught in there. You get caught in there. You get to talking while you're watching the game, and we wasn't in. I had to be in there. I'm mad I didn't get back in there. What's up, Fish?
I'm assuming none of you guys saw, but I heard that there was a fight yesterday, like fan fight after the Wings and Lightning game. I don't know if any of you guys heard that.
Of course there was, dude.
Why? Who was fighting?
Why?
I heard it was a
Lightning
fan. It was a Lightning fan that had a Kucherov jersey on the back, and they were.
Well, you can't. I don't understand how you can hate on Kucherov.
Getting angry.
He's the dude, man.
Well, you can't hate on the Kucherov player.
And then his Bud Lights.
But you can hate on the person wearing the Kucherov jersey. I don't know.
Sure,
I wouldn't. But.
Sure, and like, look, I've gone to like Lions games on the road in Chicago, Pistons games on the road, Red Wings games, Tigers games, etc. You know you're going to wear it to some degree. I mean, not like physically wear it. You know that people are going to give you the business. Like, I understand that going in. I don't understand the mentality of like physically fighting.
And from what I heard, the fight was outside, so it was after the game.
Are you fighting without getting paid or having pushing the product?
You're paying for your pride.
You know?
So
yeah, dude, exactly.
So they were walking home. It was already raining. They were angry that the Wings conceded 3 goals in 18 minutes, 15 minutes, and they just decided, well, let's punch someone. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but hey, you do whatever you want to do.
Is that the fish breakdown theory? What happened?
That was in the police report? You pulled that from the police file?
Yes. that was in the report.
Fish report. Is that the police report or fish report?
The fish report. I don't know what the police report is. All I know is it was outside.
My bad. I thought you said you read the police report. My bad.
I have sources. They're not related to the police, but my sources told me that there was a fight outside. It was a Lightning fan and Red Wing
speaking
people.
of the game last night and speaking of whatever that, here's a great question that I'm going to address from Robert Colasia. Says, DMac, line strategy questions. Lines are about chemistry, right? So when your number one center goes down, who moves up? He couldn't tell on TV. For power plays, what's the strategy? Does the second line guy and Suter automatically go up? This is the brilliance of Scotty Bowman, right? Where we could all play with each other, so if somebody went down, it was an easy fix in. And a lot of times you don't want to break up your second line or break up the chemistry line, third line or whatever, but you'll put a guy in like a Gagne on the fourth line can move up. Guys that have played there before are responsible. They're going to fill it in. What'll happen is you'll see them plan B in practice when you got to move a couple more guys around. So it's something that the coaches like to prepare ahead for. You know, we're talking about Coach Campbell and talk about being ready for plays that happened like we knew when they even scored the touchdown and then went for the 2-point conversion on Sunday. Well, that's what coaching, they go, if he goes down, he's going to put a different guy in. Usually it's just to piece it out for the game, right? So that's why you have 2 power play units and different things like that. But a lot of times guys have played with guys at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert also says drunk. MPWMU says beer muscles. Steve R says that's what alcohol does. It is funny that we get to that story after I tell you how the beers were flowing and the fans were quote unquote enjoying themselves. Enjoy yourself.
When they put the camera on you and then you chug it back. There was a couple of them like that. It was a good time.
It was.
You know, and it's good where you can go to the game and you can be a fan. You can yell at the refs. You know, you can yell at the players.
No, and
it feels good because we don't.
I never get to do that, man. Somebody asked me on Twitter. They're like, "Are you working or what do you got going on?" I'm like, "No, I'm here with my buddy, our sons. I'm gonna have a beer. I'm gonna have a pretzel."
Were you yelling at the refs a little bit yesterday? Was you yelling at the players?
No, I don't. No, they can't hear me.
No, if you guys want to hear somebody yelling at the players, just go to my Instagram. Watch my Instagram story. It should be up for a few more hours. Go to, I was yelling a little bit. It was a good game.
Yeah.
You know, yelling at the players. And I love to see when one player, he might throw a punch and then you see all his teammates come to like try to protect him, and then all the other team I love that camaraderie. I love it.
No, well, plus I have Kucherov on my fantasy team. Full disclosure. So, if Tampa did score, I wanted Kucherov to be involved, and he got 1 goal and he had 3 assists. So, from that standpoint, if they were going to give up goals, I would want Kucherov to be involved, I guess. I'm sorry. I had to come full circle on it.
Did you expect that from Bertuzzi last night? Did you expect that?
4 goals? No one expected 4 goals
I mean,
from
just
him.
to have a good performance.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he's a 20. He's a 20
goal guy.
Yeah,
Dude,
could
I
be
just
30.
told you his last 10 NHL hockey games, he hasn't played in a year. He's got 9 goals in 10 games. Like, he's a legit 20-goal guy. Playing on the first power play, playing on the first line. You see how effective he is. You see the moves he's got. He's got some skill. I mean, he is, that type of guy, that you need. He's an effective guy, and he's the stir stick in that lineup. Right, and offensively too, because he brings it. I mean, he's talented as heck. And like I said, his hockey IQ's off the charts.
Listen, D-Man, he's disrespectful with what he is. He didn't have to go through the legs on 2 defenders.
He didn't do that to grown men.
He didn't have to do that.
Really? You didn't have to jump over that guy?
Listen, do you know?
You didn't have to jump over that guy.
His kids, those man kids that
do you know that
those
game? Guys, when you're running that ball into the end zone, have families too, that you're putting 5 yards deep when you're doing your, whoa, you weren't thinking of them.
I wasn't thinking about them because at the same time, my son is watching the game.
At the same time, Bertuzzi's girl's pregnant and he's got a puppy. So there you go. So
you put on for the puppy.
You know how it goes.
You know what it is, but you know what it is. His girl, the kid ain't here yet though, so the kid can't see it. But I guess they can always go back and watch film.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? You might as well lay down the tape. Just in case.
Yeah, the honest guy don't lie, okay. But he disrespectful, though. But I love it.
You know what? Then that's blatant disrespect that you're allowed to do against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, my God. I mean, not just anybody. The Stanley Cup champs.
Heck yeah. Don't be resting on your laurels. Play the body.
There's a lot of talk about DMac. There's a lot of talk in there about the fights at the Silverdome back in the day. Oh, that was like a UFC.
I wish I was around.
We used
to
watch that. You used to just know when to be ready to go. Around halftime, whatever, like this. Oh, section here. Oh, section here. There's always
there would be blood on the tunnel wall sometime. It was the octagon.
You know what it was? They said people would sometimes go to the Silverdome game just to see the fights in the crowd.
Yeah, there is a lot of chatter about that. Those they're calling it like a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome at times there in the Silverdome. No, it would. It certainly would get like that. Skippers ask, there's no way Larkin gets suspended for that, right? I think there is a way. There's a way.
Yeah, I don't. Listen, wrong guy. I don't think so. So that's probably why it will be because I said it, dude. That was a 2-minute penalty.
That's like asking the CEO.
What are you asking the HR department for and the CEO of the Colcock?
Yeah, that's like asking.
I was proud of him. He let it go. That reminded me of the one I let go on Clyde. He didn't get him quite as good, I don't think, because he got up. But
that's like asking the CEO of an oil company if cars should be battery powered. That's it. That's exactly what that's like. What do you got, Fish?
DMac, there is a Wings game tomorrow night. They're playing the Vancouver Canucks. Can we finally, I say finally, we only played one game, but can we get a win against the Canucks? I know they lost in the shootout to the Oilers, and they play the Flyers tonight, so they're going on a back-to-back.
Yeah, you got to take. These are the ones you got to take advantage of when you're sitting at home in your bed, have a day to practice. That's a good test to, the one thing they'll be ready to play. So, but Vancouver's got a young team. They're missing a couple guys, so I do expect them to win tomorrow. Yes, Fish.
Good.
I'm happy. The pump of the fist.
The Kraken, the new team Kraken, they got their first win yesterday against the Predators.
Did they really?
They did. 4-3 victory against Nashville. I saw a tweet online that said, "Hey, Nashville, congratulations, Seattle! Their first win. Gave Seattle their first win."
Yeah, they congratulated them with a banner. Pretty cool.
On our YouTube chat thread, the watcher says, "Cool story, bro. Probably me talking about my fantasy team. I don't know. There's nothing more useless in the world than someone talk about their fantasy. But I was giving you the insight into my emotion. When Tampa scored, like I didn't like it, but then I was like,
Neil, my fantasy team did
silver lining.
Yeah,
silver lining.
Silver lining.
Neil, I needed Godwin to get 55 yards. We got 54 yards, and I lost by a point. Frustrating." That's what fantasy people do, and they think you care when you really don't, but you just don't want to make them feel bad.
Question: do you do fantasy at all, D-Man?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever done it?
I did. Yeah, I used to win, and then I got tired of winning. I got a lot of the people.
Kind of like hockey. Yeah.
What?
Kind of like hockey.
It's like hockey. Yeah. I got to move on to stuff I'm not good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break.
I have no attention span. Like to stay on it. I could do it if somebody ran it for me and asked me questions, but dude, you're chirping me about the picture I took last night because I didn't have a flash on. How the heck, if I can't put a flash on my phone when I take a picture, how am I going to run a fantasy team?
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by our Detroit Lions hometown hero that will be honored. I know a lot of you will be at the game at Ford Field, so we'll talk about that when we come back. But in case you want to look good before you go out to the Detroit Lions game,
prerequisite.
What should they do, D-Mac?
Exactly. Games that won. And guys, we're a simple bunch. We like Sunday football and the feel of the remote control in the palm of our hands. Yes. We like things uncomplicated like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sit down, and before you know it, your hair is game ready. Look at mine. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8. That means you can slide in anywhere and get that cut before you go down to the game. 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. You know why? It's wicked awesome. Tell them Big D, Energy, Joint Bell, Neil Roll, Darren McCarty will be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Big D!
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Morning, Art. Morning, DMac.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Just about 14 minutes away, we'll be talking Detroit Lions hometown heroes. Always one of my favorite segments. Joyce even talked about it before, just being on the field at Ford Field. And we will get the opportunity to talk to Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard. He'll be with us in studio coming up in just a little bit. But I did want to get to the picks and the pick 'em here. Of course, we got my Get Right special coming up as well. Got the push last week on the Get Right special. My apologies for that, but you didn't win anything, you didn't lose anything. We press on. I'm 3-2-1, but we are going to take a look at what's going on around the world of football. And I said we were going to talk about the Michigan State game. Let's do it right now with the picks. Michigan State's at Indiana. Michigan State is a 4.5-point favorite. And Joik, a lot of people are talking about how this is a trap game for Michigan State, that we all know what's on the horizon for the Spartans team, and the success of their season could be predicated on how they do against Michigan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But before that, they have to get through Indiana on the road. Indiana's got to win a game at some point, Joik. What's your take on Michigan State, Indiana?
No.
You going to roll them?
Is this a conversation we're having? This is not going to be close. It's not going to be a close game. Indiana's not about to beat MSU right now. They don't have the weapons. They don't have the depth. They don't have the talent yet. Now, I mean, they are a D1 school, so I'm not going to say they're not, they're going to get steamrolled. But, yeah, I mean, it's not 2-3 score game.
So he's laying down the gauntlet again, yeah?
Yeah, three score game. And real quick, because me and you made a little wager for eggs. Who won that?
We got to push.
We got to push?
Yep. We pushed that one, too. I pushed everything last weekend, man. Landed right on the number. It was confirmed by the listeners.
It was confirmed?
It was confirmed. I think Robert was one of them, said on the 18, the push.
The push.
3 scores. Yeah, you know what, though? I do have to give you credit for making that call. For the real talk. That was, and you're running it back, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
I'll take Indiana in the 18 today for the eggs if you want to run that back.
I'd take them for a 3 score.
18.
And you know what though? No, 17 is 3 score.
Well, so was 18.
Yeah, but I did 17. I did
21.
Because no, it's 3 touchdowns. We said 3 scores. It's a difference. It's a difference between a 3 score and then 21. There's 3 touchdowns in the field goal. But I mean, the extra point. But I'm saying 3 scores. It's 17.
All right, man.
Because that's what I did last time too. So if we hit 18, I actually won.
I was told it was 18.
No,
I didn't remember because I didn't write it down.
I said 17 last time. I said 17.
We'll have to break the tape.
You try to bring out the tape.
We're going to have to break the tape out.
Bring
I was told in the YouTube chat thread that it was 18.
Rewind on that bet. I don't know if you want what I think. I heard.
What do you think you heard?
I think you won, Joint. I think I heard 17.
Yes.
But
I was DMaC, remember on Monday's show?
Exactly, and I was wondering how
that's what they
18
said.
Points equaled 17.
Yeah.
I'm just going by what I was told.
Business
don't go by what you was told. I'm sitting here telling you, I bet it's 17.
And if Joint wants to bring up Friday, a bet you made last weekend, well, there you go. But now that he's getting into the fact check, I mean, if they can go back 10 years on Gruden and all this stuff, then
check the emails.
We can go at least a week, right, Joint? But I think because the same argument. 3 scores, 21. No, 17's 3 scored. That's the only reason where it jogged in. And I was looking up. And
thank you.
None of my business, man. Not my eggs. I ain't getting eggs no matter what. But you might want to run it back.
4 scrambled egg cheese.
But you might want to run it back first.
Run it back.
I'm just going by what I was told.
So
I didn't write it down. That's on me. That's on Joy too, because he didn't write it down. It's on me because I didn't write it down.
No. We had.
I'm just saying. I think it was 17. Did anybody remember
it was 17.
in the chat thread?
3 score. It was 3 score, and I remember it because the same argument we're having now about 3-score is the same argument we had.
Because I remember saying I wanted 21. I remember saying that.
Giants-Dodgers game. I'm going to go to instant replay. It might take a little bit. We're going to sequester the tapes, and we will have an answer.
This is going to be
probably by the weekend on Twitter. We're going to see who's going to do some big.
I'm taking heat right now too. They said they want me to get a T-shirt that says "I was told" on the front of it. I was told. I don't remember who said it. I didn't write it down. That's on me.
Listen, Robert said Drake always goes to the tape. Laugh out loud. Always go to the tape. You know.
Tape don't lie.
They know what they say.
Tape
the iron
don't
sky
lie,
don't lie. The iron sky
you
don't
tell
lie.
me that tape don't lie.
Yeah.
You got it on tape. Get it on tape. Check the tape.
I'll take Indiana with the 17.
With the 17.
I'll take 17.
Okay. I'll take
Fair.
that.
All right.
Fair.
We're in. And we got it, you guys.
Yeah.
17.
17.
17.
It's
All right.
only 17.
Now they go past. Now what?
Winger.
Whether they go
just played a
21 or 25, do I get like extra?
No,
you don't.
No, just you get extra props from me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, man, that was good.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
like stuff like while you're
That
eating
means a
your
lot.
warm
You know,
eggs.
props from you is better than any 4 eggs. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Need the pick them for the GVSU versus Ferris State game. Ooh,
That's supposed to be a big time game.
Ooh,
You got time.
Yeah.
You got time to brew that. I'm going to take Michigan State, by the way.
You're going to take Michigan State on it? I will too.
I'm just
going
to take the -4.5.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're in agreement there. Grand Valley State, Ferris State. I'm taking Ferris State in that one.
You taking Ferris?
Yeah.
You know what? They've been balling the last couple of years.
That's what I'm saying.
Did they win? Hold on. Did they beat them last year?
I don't remember.
I got a Bulldog alumnus in the family, my stepdaughter, so I'm going Ferris.
I was actually at the game in 19 when they played, and Ferris State came away with it. I can't remember who won last year, but Ferris State been rolling the last couple of years. I might have to go with Ferris.
So you're rolling with that.
I might have to roll. My sister went to Ferris State too, so it's kind of, you know.
Oklahoma State, number 12 in the nation, at number 25, Texas. Texas is -4. I was told Texas is back, but I still don't see it. But I'm told they're back.
You're told they're back?
Hey, they played Oklahoma tough. They're
What's
them. I mean, they
that
had
shirt that says, I was told?
Yeah, I was told.
They had a 21-0 lead. They looked good.
I could come out with a whole line. Like, I was told. It'd be like a burnt orange shirt. It says, I was told, and on the back it would say, Texas is back.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Who you got in that one, DMac?
I have... Dude, I'm going against Texas. I had Oklahoma last week. I mean, we didn't even go through how great I was last week, but I'm going Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State? Who you got?
I don't like Texas.
I don't either.
I'm working with Texas. I've always been a Texas fan.
Yeah, I'm working with Oklahoma State I'm working with Texas actually on this one though, because the only team that's more Texas than Texas, or as Texas as Texas, is Oklahoma State. Every year we hear this about Oklahoma State, about they're a factor. Wait till they play Oklahoma, and then they always lose a game that people are saying start to look out for Oklahoma State. That's about the time they lose. So I'm guessing that'll be this year. I'll take Texas in that one. Kentucky's at Georgia, number 1 Georgia. -22.5. This one opened up at 24. People are believing in Kentucky. Kentucky is a decent squad though, Joy. But you still got Georgia, huh?
I got Georgia.
What you got, DMac?
I got Kentucky. I just the 3-score thing. You know what I mean? That when it's over 22, like that's a 20. It might be 22 or whatever, but it's that 3-score backdoor cover. That's and when you say like Kentucky, can they put? Do I think they'll put a few points on the board? I do. I think that this one. I think Georgia wins handedly, but I think this has backdoor cover written all over it.
Yeah,
and then they also have my old coach in there too. So I got to go with Texas.
Bet them on the money line.
Georgia, that defense will choke you out. People are having a hard time scoring on Georgia. I just don't know how Kentucky's going to score on them. But that's so. Once you get north of those 3 scores, that's a tough one, man. I guess I'd just say Georgia just on principle, but I wouldn't get right on that one. Let's just say that. Purdue at Iowa. Iowa number 2 in the nation. Iowa 11.5 point favorite. And DMac, this one don't smell right to me.
No, it doesn't smell right, but you also, too, were a little poo-pooey on Iowa last week, weren't you, against Penn State?
I was, and then Penn State's quarterback got hurt and everything changed.
Oh, okay, so that's why.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going Iowa. I'm looking them. I'm just going Iowa until they prove me wrong.
All right.
Iowa.
Do you?
Yeah, they balling.
This is going to be my zag when everybody else zigs. That number makes no sense. In no world should Purdue only be an 11.5-point underdog at Iowa. Iowa never gives up points to anyone. It makes no sense. That's why I'm taking it. I will take Purdue in that
rule,
game.
No sense of the week.
No
pick.
sense of the
They are
week
who we
pick.
thought they were. We let them off the hook.
Alabama is at Mississippi State. Mississippi State getting 17 points in that one. Bama's going to be pissed coming off that loss at Texas A&M. Poor Mississippi State.
Poor Mississippi State. Hey, that was a good game, man.
It was a good game.
Yeah, they fought. They tried to come back at the end, but
well, I like the way too everybody made a big deal about it. They're like, "Oh, Alabama lost to an unranked team." Texas A&M was number 5 in the country at one point this year, man. Like,
and they're not looking at that. They're just looking at that point in time. They stop living in the past.
They're not chumps, man.
They stop living in the past because at one point in time, Michigan and MSU weren't ranked.
That's what I'm saying. Like things change.
Things change quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Absolutely, they do. You got Alabama on that one?
Yeah, I got Alabama.
Yeah, as do I as well. Mississippi State just they're what I like to call a VOC in this situation. They are a victim of circumstance.
Yeah,
coming back with
absolutely.
vengeance.
Coach Saban isn't happy. They're coming out and putting about a 30 spot.
Yeah, TCU's at Oklahoma. Oklahoma 13.5-point favorite in that one. Spencer Rattler struggling, was benched last week. Is Oklahoma any good?
I don't know,
haven't
but
seen
it seemed that they rallied around the quarterback they put in. And somebody brought up a good point. Rattler doesn't seem invested with his teammates. It seems like he's one-man island. So, I mean, I'll go TCU. Too many points.
Interesting.
But if they play for their new quarterback or whatever like that, then maybe they are for real. Maybe it was a quarterback issue.
Dan wants to know, can we get that Woodward Sports background image as a computer wallpaper to download? That's interesting. Well, I'll send that one up the ladder for you guys. All right, my guy Dom Rivera says he checked the tape and he said the number was 17. I was told it was 18. My apologies to you, Joik. So, all right, so here's what we do then. We got it running it back. I got to pull up on the counter to get eggs.
Hit it again. Pull up.
How do you want to do this then, Joik? We got the action. 17. We got the action in the Indiana-Michigan State game. How do you want to do it? If I win, no blood.
Yeah.
If you win,
add a smoothie in there.
Eggs in a smoothie. All right, that's fair.
Eggs in a smoothie. I want a watermelon
and you want it by
mojito.
10:50?
Yeah, I want to hear at 10:45.
10:45.
Right
all
here
right.
at 10:45, nice and hot.
All right, and then when Indiana covers that number, then we'll call it good.
We'll call it good.
Is that fair? All right, hey, we'll take it to the street side. 17, like 17.
Man. We'll take it.
All right, there it is. 17. You guys know it.
Yeah.
You guys see it. Let's get that Lions pick in stone too. Looking at the numbers, it is back to a 3-point spread for the Lions and the Bengals. Who you got, Joy?
What's the spread?
3. Bengals favored by 3.
I'm gonna take the Lions.
You say the Lions are gonna pull up on them?
Yeah, I'll take the Lions. I think they cover.
Well, which one is that?
I know, right? Which one? That's the thing. I'm gonna go Bengals.
I told you guys.
I would. This is the head-heart bet, right? Where I think the Lions have an opportunity to win, but my head goes to the line, my heart goes to the team. So this is why I don't bet, because I hope they win. But Bengals.
I hinted all week long that I was going to be going Bengals or going to be going Lions in this. There's just too many people getting on the Lions now. So I think I gotta throw it down for the Lions. If the Bengals fancy themselves as a division title contender, you can't go to an 0-5 team and lose, Joy. You know that, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now. When you have a home game and you have a team that does well with, I think they play better when they have adversity. I feel like they play better when their backs are against the wall. And that's why I think they'll cover the bet. Now, do I think they win the game? I don't think they'll win the game, but I think they'll cover the spread.
Think they'll cover the 3? That's fair. Yeah. No, that's fair, especially in the day and age of the 2-point conversion. Lastly, I got to get you right, everybody. We're 3-2-1. Hey, we're working on a fire intro for it too. I've been in the lab cutting clips and getting times for clips and all that stuff. And I'm setting it up. The crew's going to work on it. It's going to be sweet. Just trust me on it. But that's not in there. It should be in there. But we should do that when the pick is in. Hold on. I'll cue you when we're ready for that. But it is time for the Neil Rule Get Right Special. 3, 2, and 1. I got another late night Saturday one for you. So, if the breaks went against you, if you had a bad Saturday during the day, old Uncle Neil's going to get you right here. We got a bailout special. Fish, the pick is in. Our Get Right special, the Nevada Wolfpack on Saturday night. CBS Sports Network has the coverage. Hawaii will be in town. I know.
Rainbow.
I know. And here's what we're going to do. The line's sitting at 14 right now. I'm just, and this is just me. It makes me sleep better. I'm going to buy the half point and get down to 13.5 minus 120. If you need a Get Right special, then you know what I'm talking about when I say these types of things. I'm going to pay the double juice, get it down to 13.5. I'm taking Nevada, laying the 13.5. They can sling the ball around the yard. Hawaii's pass defense has not been good, which is weird because they had so many returning starters on defense. But that is it. Nevada over Hawaii. Uncle Neil's Get Right special. I'm going to get you right, everyone. If you get in the hole, I got your back, and we'll talk again on Monday about it. We are going to take a break. When we come back in studio, we are joined by the Detroit Lions hometown hero, Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard will be here in studio. We'll have a conversation with him when we come back. You are watching Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network, where we have the very best in high school football coverage. This weekend, tonight, as a matter of fact, Cass Tech versus King. It is the PSL Championship, a big-time affair, and we will have it for you on the Woodward Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's brought to you by The Prep and our good friends at Planet Fitness as well. We showcase the best high schools and the best student athletes and the best student sections in Metro Detroit. Cass Tech versus King tonight, 9 o'clock on all the Woodward Sports social media channels.
Hi, I'm David Hall from All Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Joik Bell, Darren McCarty here in the house. And right now, as promised, in our Woodward Sports studio, we are joined by the Detroit Lions hometown hero. You'll see him honored on Sunday at Ford Field as the Detroit Lions take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Really something I've talked about a lot, where the Detroit Lions certainly do this right. Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard joins us here, a graduate of Bronson High School in Sturgis, Michigan, completed his training at Fort Bliss, Texas in 1982 as a tank mechanic with the Michigan Army National Guard's 1072nd Maintenance Company. 27-year military career. Mike, certainly do appreciate your time. Welcome to Big D Energy. Welcome to Woodward Sports. And I always have to lead off with this question, Mike. When you get that phone call and you say, hey, we want you on the field at Ford Field, you're the Detroit Lions hometown hero, what kind of goes through your mind when you hear that?
Well, that's a good question. I knew of the program, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of neat to do someday. And then when I got the request, I was like, well, all right, let's do it. Let's give it a try. Why not? It's something new. Let's do something different. So,
absolutely. And as you know, Joik Bell here on the show with me, and Joik, you've commented many times where that whole program that they do, that whole moment that they do, it changes the dynamic in Ford Field.
It does, man. And it's great because you had some teammates, myself included, that will walk down the line that they have, and we'll shake every person that was in the military that was there at that time. We'll shake everyone's hand. We'll thank them for their service. Yeah. And I think that's like a special moment between us and kind of showing our gratitude towards kind of like our guardians, of this country. So we really do appreciate your service.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, I do have to ask you. I mean, your specialty was training. Training hundreds, hundreds of officers and things like that. I mean, it's not just as far as I'm concerned. Like you have a lasting impact on our military here. I mean, do you take that when you're doing that? Are you thinking about that? You just doing the job? Like soldiers always say, you guys never overly think things. You just do what you're told to do.
That's exactly right. You just do it. You see soldiers. You know they're here and they need to be here, and so it's just intrinsic almost that you know what it takes to get them from here to here, and every step of the way, and you just keep working them. And, it's the 90-10 rule, the 80-20 rule. I'm sure it's the same way in sports. 80% of them, they truck right along. 20% of them are going to take 80% of your time. And so, but you get them all there eventually. And what's really good is to see them later on in life holding higher ranks or holding higher positions. And you run into them and they go, oh, man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And that's just a great feeling. I love that part of being in the military. So.
Well, I think it's very important, the military aspect, and I talk about it, how it's such a huge part in Darren McCarty's life because of Operation Valhalla with Nick Antonucci, who's been honored down there with Ronnie too. But it's the mil-spec, right? So it's the knowing how things are done or expecting that everybody else can do. So I know how that the military can affect into athletics, but talk about being from Sturgis and stuff, because we're all in the same boat. So you've been a Lions fan your whole life, Detroit sports fan and stuff. So like, how does this, where does this put in, or I guess the understanding of when you're doing things to protect us athletes and stuff, right? Where does your fandom go, and how does it equate? Because sometimes I'm told that the sports or the Lions, even though they're losing, can get you through tough times out there where we don't really understand. Is that sort of the connection the military has, or you personally?
Yes, it's a lot of the same way in the military. We all know we ain't going to win them all, but we're going to do our best. It doesn't matter how it turns out. We're going to continue to move forward. And you've probably heard that over and over and over yourself. Continue to move forward. There's no moving back. It's always move forward. And so regardless of how it turns out, step over the top of it and just keep moving forward. And so it's a lot of the same way. And thank you for mentioning Sturgis. That's my hometown. I want to say my dad is probably the biggest Lions fan. He doesn't miss a football game. He doesn't get to come to them, but he likes to watch them every Sunday, and so he'll be looking forward to Sunday as well.
Must have seen a lot of them.
He's seen a lot of
bad ones too. So the fact he's still watching, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think it brought my attention, just obviously Sturgis, because of the motorcycles and stuff like this and stuff like that. But that's awesome to know. So So you said your dad's a big football fan. Is football your number one love, or?
Well, it's my favorite sport.
Favorite sport?
Yeah. I didn't play football in school. I was a skinny kid. I played track and baseball, but I wouldn't have made the team very much. They'd probably busted me up pretty bad if I was on a football team. But I grew into the role of the Army quite quick and enjoyed it, and it ended up being my sport. The Army was my sport for 27 years, and so I enjoyed that greatly.
And certainly you excelled at it. There is no doubt about it, talking to Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard. So, Mike, you deployed during Desert Storm. Yes. That was an emotional time, I think, for our entire nation. And I can't even imagine. I always talk about it, too, because I ask, we have this discussion all the time with the hometown heroes, and I always get a different answer every single time. As you're deploying out to Desert Storm, take us back to that time. I mean, what's going through your mind? I mean, I imagine there's probably just a range of emotions.
Well, we were a country without war for almost 25 years, or actually over 25 years, and so we were at peace, and we were watching on the news unfold, and many of us didn't think, well, it's not going to happen to us. The active duty will take care of that. We'll just stay here and continue doing what we're doing. And it was actually the day after Christmas. I got a call, family's still in town, and they said, hey, you're being mobilized for Desert. At that time it was Desert Shield. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is a joke, right? This isn't really happening. And I was like, no, this is the real deal. And so life changed overnight, and for the next really it was only a 6-month activation. It was only a few weeks war, but it changed life forever for a lot of military people. And so turned my family upside down, turned my job upside down, and we had a lot to learn, after that. And so, but it did change my perspective of the military, and I think that's what seeded my life in the military. I don't think I would have probably, if it wasn't for Desert Storm, I probably wouldn't have stuck around and finished out my career there, but that's what did it for me.
No, and I'm always amazed by that too, because you get that phone call, right, and you look back at the phone and you're like, wow, this is for real. And I always talk about that, and Ronnie Cyrus and I are friends, and he and I, if we're on the golf course, I'll go back and ask him about that. Like, I can't imagine the transition, because I always talk with Joik about when you're an NFL player and you step across that line, you turn into a different person. I mean, everything changes, the emotion, the psychology, all of it. Like, you get deployed. Your job, literally on a day-to-day basis, is to stay alive.
That's right.
Like, no, I mean that's the game. Like,
right.
The game is, don't die today.
Right.
Get to tomorrow. I mean, the psychological place that you have to go to be in that world, I'll never understand. I don't think a lot of us that haven't had to do it would ever understand.
Right. It's not win or lose at that point. It's win every day. It's win every day.
Yeah.
You have to win every day, and so that changes life. It really does. And the tough part of that is when you come home and you have to no longer win every day, but your brain still says you have to win every day. And so you kind of break some rules so you can stay in that frame of mind, and it starts to cause problems. And I'm sure you and Ronnie have talked about that too. And that's where veterans start to get in trouble, when they start crossing the line and try to stay in that mindset of win every day. And that's what he and I do to help veterans now today.
And that is the commonality between athletes playing and then getting out of the game. That transition, I think that's.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
With Grind Time and Operation Valhalla, and with Ronnie and with everybody that said, where you realize that, hey, we all have a sport and we all have this win mentality. How do we come together and go, well, wait, I think that, and I think that, and I think the military and athlete mentality is the same thing.
Absolutely, I agree. There's no switch. You can't just put the football down on the field and walk off.
Put your gun down and walk off, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, I certainly do appreciate you coming out here. Appreciate your time. Appreciate the service as well. 27 years of honorable service.
I had some questions for my guy as well. I had some important questions.
Please do.
Okay. So hold on. Because we had someone on before, and he would give us some details on advice he would give to some of the troops. He was kind of in your position. He had been in it for over 20 plus years, and so he used the term, Joe will be Joe. And so, what would some of the best advice you will be able to give to someone who's coming in, who might want to be in the military for 20 plus years?
Who's thinking about making a career out of the military? I think it's like sports. Make the best of it. Lean forward, move forward, get educated, train yourself. It's about being there for others more than it's about being there for you, And so it's like any sport. You're there for the team more than you're there for you. Yeah. And so as long as you've got that mentality, you'll survive, you'll thrive, and you'll be successful in the military. Yeah. And so you can't do it without that.
Question: were you prepared for the military when you got there, or they had to
when
get
I
you
joined?
Prepared? Yeah.
No.
Did you expect? All right. So, you have people say, I'm ready for it. I can go do it. I'm in good shape. But it's not just about being in good shape. It's more mental than anything.
It is.
So what was the biggest transition for you when you got there?
Well, I come from a non-military family. There wasn't a person in my family in the military. I had nobody to lean on for advice. I signed up. They said, you're going to love this. And I was like, that sounds like a recruiting ploy to me. And I got there, and I didn't know what to expect, which was kind of good for me, I think. Had I had some expectations, it might have been harder. But going into it with no expectations was best. And I would tell people, don't listen to Uncle Bob. Don't listen to, Grandpa Joe. It's a way different military than it was back then. And so go into it with no expectations. Set your own. So
perfect. So you're from Sturgis, right?
Sturgis, Michigan.
Sturgis, Michigan. I have one story about Sturgis. I played one high school football game there.
Did you?
First game of the season, hottest game of the year. They had to call 3 timeouts because the refs needed water.
That's how hot it was.
Yeah,
the refs
you guys are actually pretty good that year. I think you guys went to the 3rd round of the playoffs that year. You guys did well. This is 05.
Yeah.
15 years ago. I'm aging myself.
well, Mike, for somebody who said, I didn't really know what to expect, here we are later on, 3 Armed Forces medals, 2 deployment ribbons, 3 Army Commendation medals, and the Michigan Legion of Merit. I think you figured it out all right. I think you did it pretty well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations again on that honor, and everyone that's down there at the Lions are going to be able to see you on Sunday. Appreciate the time, my friend.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. And the chat thread right now is just lighting up. The people that watch, they're grateful for your service. We are too. Thanks again.
Thank you.
No one's ready for day one.
Yeah, no one's ready for day one. Absolutely. Command Sergeant Major Michael Wilson of the Michigan Army National Guard. You can see him at Ford Field on Sunday. We'll be right back. Final segment of the show on a Friday. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Big D!
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Neil Rule for Guardian Alarm. And look, folks, Guardian Alarm gets it. A good defense on and off the field can help you feel secure. Guardian Alarm, state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke, and even carbon monoxide. It will let you lock and unlock your doors as well. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Today, Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe. And one more time for him, Fish. 1-800.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm. Final segment of the show here on a Friday. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Joy Bell, DMac, Darren McCarty in the house. And I enjoy doing that, man. I enjoy doing the Hometown Heroes thing because the perspective that you get, and it makes me feel better. It makes me sleep better at night because it's these kinds of people, man, that are holding it down.
You nailed it, though, right? Think about it. Their object is they got to win every day. They got to stay alive. You mentioned that a lot of time, but that's
but DMac, like that's my takeaway. Like my biggest decision in my day is, am I going to get coffee at Starbucks or Big B?
I'm telling you.
Like that's my
Big B. I like Big B better.
Yeah, well, I do too. Real talk.
Yeah, well, what was that? Jordan said, an athlete's hardest time is downtime because you're so used to going. And I'm pretty sure, like I haven't heard anyone put it into that perspective. It makes a lot of sense for guys to come back here and still be in that mind frame of I got to win. And sometimes you cross the line.
Well, and that's for me, Joy. Like when we talk about NFL football players, when they step across that line, the world's different, man. They say it's cliche, like it's a gladiator mentality, but it is because it can all be over on any single play. And I can understand how when you transition out of that life, some people have a tough time with that, man, because everyone's all, shocked or something like that when, you see an incident or whatever, like former NFL player, a situation happens or things like that. Yeah. But when you dig deeper than that, man, I mean, you're wired to lay everything on the line for everybody around you.
Yeah, it's weird because you have like majority of the NFL, the guys who are in the NFL, some guys aren't lucky enough to, play football for the first time in college and get drafted first round. You have some guys like that, but for the most part, a lot of these guys have been playing football since the age of 6, 7, 8. All right, and so you've been working your whole life to get to a certain point, and to have that kind of have that rug pull from underneath you during your career is hard to kind of just what now? What's next? And I've always been put in the frame in that mindset of, all right, football is good, but not what's your plan B, but what do you want to do when you're done playing?
Because you will be done.
Yeah, you will be done someday.
That day will come.
Everybody but London Fletcher.
Right. It even came for him.
It even came for London Fletcher, man. Yeah.
Couldn't hurt him, but the day was done.
The day
Father time.
Time still beat him.
So at what point in time you used to back and say, okay, what's next? I don't know, but I know what's next for me this weekend.
Yeah, what you got popping?
I got my son game tonight. They're playing on this side of the state, which is good.
Where they at?
They're in Chelsea.
Okay.
And in Chelsea. And then Sunday, we got the pregame. here with Woodward Sports. Make sure you guys tap in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brass Rail.
Brass Rail, man. Do it up big time. What you got going on,
I'll be
DMac?
in Charlevoix at the Elks Lodge tomorrow night for the Slapstick Comedy Tour DMac show, and then in Lawton, Michigan on Sunday afternoon for the comedy show. So I'm heading up there. Oh, and I'll be playing the Plants.
Absolutely. I got NCAA soccer, as I talked about on Sunday on ESPN Plus. So, if you're
Who's
pumping
playing?
around Oakland Golden Grizzlies against Wright State. Pivotal Horizon League matchup. So if you're bumping around the channels, I'm on there. You don't have to, just click it on there so we get the view. That's fair, right? That's a fair ask, I think.
Yes, it is.
But we will be back on Monday. The big football recap, all that reaction going on. We'll touch on the baseball as well. Red Wings, we didn't get to Zadina, but you said after November 1st, we'll do our Zadina check-in. The early returns
You and I
weren't good.
talked off the record.
The early returns were not good.
You and I talked off the books, but you got till November 1st.
Yeah,
we'll leave
absolutely.
that on this Friday.
Yeah, you said
And
absolutely.
go back and check that tape. See what that.
You could have a big game on Saturday against the
Fish, watch
Ducks.
this. Gang, gang.